lymph flush, because I feel like I'm coming out of this cold, and I know other people in my Zoom room are also recovering from things. And this lymph flush that we're going to do, you can do every single day. And it's great. I learned it from Perry Nicholson. Stop chasing pain. I'm trying to speak with more enunciation. All right, let's start rubbing your hands together. We're going to bounce around too. So it's not just going to be the lymph flush. It's going to be just shaking and moving. So rub your hands together, get the energy going, shake up your body. I did an embodiment PSA on Instagram, which I then also posted on YouTube. And in it, I said, shaking can both give you energy and also release energy. And somebody wrote back, oh, I don't get it. Does it give you energy or does it release energy? And the answer is yes. It depends on what you need. So shaking can shake out your excess anxious energy. It also gets your lymphatic system going, right? When we bounce, when we move, all the tissue in our body is bouncing and moving. That is going to affect hydration on an internal level. Also good for bone density. If you're feeling nervous or dull, either one, like dull, you're kind of slowed down. Shaking out is going to bring up the energy, raising it, clearing it. If you're feeling anxious, shaking out is going to release some of that energy, giving you the chance to calm down a little bit. Whenever I am going to dance or do anything that I feel a little nervous about, I mean, dance, publicly perform, I always do a huge shake out beforehand just to get everything released so that I can really be more present. All right, so lymph flush, right hand to the left clavicle. You're going to go above the clavicle. Here's my clavicle right there. I'm going to go both above and below that clavicle. Just getting in there. And I'm also going to move so that from the inside and the outside, I'm affecting the tissue. Subclavian vein, returning the lymph back into the heart, back into the blood flow. So this is like the main gateway of everything coming back. If this area is blocked, it's going to mess you up. Right? If the doors to the castle are shut, no one's going to get back in, right? When they're coming home from the campaign and they need to, I don't know why I'm thinking like in terms of Games of Thrones or some kind of medieval battle, Arthurian legend, switch it to the other side. Yeah, so this is like the main gate to the castle of that lymph returning back in. But there are more things under there. And if this is getting congested or kind of stuck and blocked, it's really going to mess with your health. So we want to make sure that those main gates are clear before we call in the troops from the far afield. Such a bad analogy. War analogies. Well, maybe war analogies are actually good for clearing up your detoxifying your body, right? Going out there, killing the enemy, and then come back into the castle and heal yourself so you can go out again, kill the enemy. Or maybe you're out there searching for the Holy Grail. I don't know, you know, on your quest, saving the damsel. All right, so we are now going to we're going to go up to this angle of the jaw. Go immune system. Yeah, angle of the jaw, right around there. You can come all the way under, like you'll feel it. They have all these little lymph nodes under there. But this is the main area. And be very gentle in here. You don't need to beat yourself up with this. We are going to get into exercise in a minute. But I feel like this is, if your lymphatic system is blocked up, it's the main most important thing. Well, one of the main most important things, right? It's going to mess you up. Okay, next place, armpit, pec. So I'm going with my right hand to my left in here. And the reason we want to start working the left side first is because the left side, this subclavian vein, is taking in 3/4 of the lymph in your body. So I don't know why. A lot of people have more injuries on their left side of their body, right? Certainly that is true in my case. for many people, the left side could be the more receptive side of the body. If you're right hand dominant, left side is not going to be doing the same stuff. Moving it over to the other side. So I'm kind of armpit pec. You can grab and make a sandwich of it and move it around, or you can get in there. Already, this big sweater is too muchy. So getting in. La la la. It's not like you're going right into your armpit. It's kind of the front of your armpit, right in there. And so sometimes I ask people to do this and they're kind of like that. If it really hurts and you need to be that kind of gentle with yourself, go for it. But if you can, really get the whole area moving, like dig in, get in there with that whole chivalry, cavalry, I don't know, the knights, all the things that are coming back. And then coming in here to your sternochyli, which is the biggest one. So this sternochyli is actually going to be coming in the right side. So the right, like the left side of the lymph is doing like all of this and half of this, I think. And then the right side is doing this sternochyli, which is our biggest lymph node in our body. So right side does have something and it's right in here and it's deep in. So maybe squish into that. Hey, Cassie, we're doing the lymph flush. So maybe start up at your clavicle. And then coming into the inguinal fold. So just above, like if you fold your leg, just above that, between your pubic bone and your hip bones. If we were talking in terms of movement analysis, we could say this is the grotesque plane, right? When people are moving their hands around close to their genitals, it's always a little like, what are they doing? What's going on there? Interestingly, that is like some cultural posturing, right? Getting in there. But for this purposes today, this is really about health. We're not trying to show anybody or highlight this area so much as just get our fingers into those lymph nodes, lots of them around there. Last place, behind your knees. You can bend and straighten as you're in that location. And as I look down, I'm looking at these are Lululemon pants that somebody gave to me. They're like hand-me-downs. She was a lot larger than me, a lot taller, bigger woman, and she gave me these. These are a large. They have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. I'm like, my God, they're like, they don't even cover my belly button. Anyway, what I was really going to say about them is that they're covered in cat hair. These particular Lululemons are just like magnets for cat hair. I know you all need to know that. All right, shake everything out. We're going to go to breathing. Inhale, fill up and expand, and exhale, add the shake, bounce, jump. If you're not ready for that, don't do it. But if you are ready for it, go for it. Right, jumping is great for your bone density. Also, when we're jumping, we want to really think of using our feet. This is something dancers learn, to jump up and land through our feet. So the bones and muscles of the feet are getting a lot of the impact. It's not just like that, right? Working through the feet. Or you could just bounce through the feet. You're still going to get the lymphatic going. All that exciting stuff. Just shut a door. As I get going with my outside yelling voice, let's spiral. So we're going to do a little awareness practice with this spiral. Twisting, looking around behind you. As we're doing this, let your eyes be involved. Take in the environment. And today with the spiral, we're just going to really stay sort of in the central channel, spiraling around it, weight even. Sometimes I shift my weight, but today we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is start to slow it down, make it smaller, slow it down a little bit more, make it a little bit smaller until it comes into just your head. And then that can even get slower and smaller. We're doing this really fast. We could spend a long time with this. And then start to close your eyes just for a minute. And feel into the sensation in your body. And start to make that head turn even smaller. Just bringing your awareness into that area of your neck where you're turning. Relax your jaw, relax your face, relax your tongue. And then see if you can move so small that you couldn't see from the outside that you're moving, that it's almost imperceptible. And relax and let that go and just feel where your awareness is. That's a way to bring focus right in. Feeling into that anytime, like, oh, can I barely move it? If you're feeling into that kind of subtle level of movement, your awareness is going to come in pretty quickly and you're going to come into a more present state, right? Bringing it in. Then from there, you can open it back out, check out the world and go, oh yeah, I'm a little more present now. Or maybe you're not. My experience is that that just brings me into really deep awareness fast. Might be different for you. All right, shoulders, circles. Slow and big. Let those shoulders lift as high as they can to your ears, and also feel like your chest is sort of being born through the front of your body and then your back. So chest coming through and then back coming through. So I could do this with just moving my shoulders, but I really want to get my thoracic spine to arch and curl. Oh, and I also want to add that that work that we were doing up here in the collarbones, that's going to be affecting our shoulders. Oh, we're going to do another thing for this because it's pretty important, and I've encountered it in a bunch of different places. Change the direction, circle it the other way. Feel what's going on with your spine. Invite your shoulders to move as big as they can. What I'm also noticing is that there's an internal rotation as I go forward and an external rotation as I go back in my arm. So let that happen. Feel how your body wants to do it. Maybe it's different for you, but just be aware that there's many ways that this could happen. All right, we're going into this next thing. So I studied connective tissue therapy, and one of the places that's really important in that is this right under your collarbone. Of course, I'm wearing a turtleneck today. Here's my collarbone, right? So it's going right under your collarbone. You're just going to take your hands and kind of dig in and pull. And if it feels almost like, this is a weird image again, a knife kind of getting in there and cutting, what you're feeling is your fascia opening up. Right? You can do one hand out towards your humerus, just, and then the other hand, or you can do them both at the same time. At a certain point for me, like this beginning into the middle, I can get about halfway. Well, maybe I can keep going. Oh, I can. Then it starts to feel weird, but we're just spreading the tissue. It's like we're combing through the fascia a little bit, opening that up. You can go one side and then the other, just feel into it. Often there's a rhythm and a way of moving that your body's going to go, yes. And there may also be a rhythm and a way of moving that your body goes, no. So listen for the yes. Find the yes in your body and work with that. So also for me, I've had this cold. So I've got a lot of congestion in my lungs. The things I need to do is make sure I'm drinking enough water so that the snotty lung mucus crap isn't getting more stuck, but it's flowing through. So moving our chest, lungs, ribs, hearts is going to help with that. Good. Just shake that out. If you're still going, if you need to spend more time there, go for it. But otherwise, I'm actually going to add weights for this. So you could do this with no weights. You could add weights. We're not going to do a whole lot. And I have 2 sets of 3-pound weights. And they're both, so I'm going to have one in each side. And I'm just going to circle one side and then the other. So we're working in a more spirally pattern here, right? Getting a little spiral in my spine, a spiral in my spine as I circle my arms. So there's this opposition right here. Both of them are doing the same thing. Now they're going away from each other. And I'm going to start to bend my elbow and lift up. You could do this with no weight. You could do it with a heavier weight. You could do it with a lighter weight. You could do it with Sam I Am, green eggs and ham. in a boat with a goat, on a float, then change direction. You can start small or go right into the elbow version. Feel what your head wants to do as you're doing that. Good. And then we're going to come in and we're going to do, so you can see my feet as well. We're going to feet together. You're going to lift shoulders up to your ears. Let's take the arms up a little. And then you're going to come in for a landing and the arms go out a little bit. Doesn't have to be a big lift, depending on your weights. Inhale up and exhale like you're coming in for a landing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. This is too much weight for me. I'm going down to threes. In, out, in, out, tippy toes, land. Taking it up, taking it down. So we're going up and narrowing, and then we're spreading and widening as we go down. Last one. And let it go. Getting rid of your weights, or maybe just put them down on the floor somewhere nearby. I want to just show you this again. I know I love to share because the cats crack me up so much. This is my very horribly abused block. And this is 100% Squeaky Deaky's work. I don't know why he likes to play with the block so much. All right, we're going to come down onto our butts. If you have a block, sit on a block. If you don't have a block, sit on your butt on the floor or elevate your pelvis. You could like rolled up towels or folded up towels. They're pretty good as blocks. This block is from Cassie. Thank you very much. Because I was too lazy to ever buy my own block. All right, you're going to flex your feet, sit up tall. See how I'm kind of making a triangle between my heels and my head, or even like this, like I'm in this sort of tetrahedron position. If we put a triangle there, a triangle here, one on the sides, I'm in sort of a tetrahedron. Just throwing in a platonic solid for imagery. Exhale, hollow. Inhale, arch, lift chest, lungs, and heart. Exhale, hollow and curl. Inhale, open and spiral. Exhale, so we're getting the hips in on the action. Inhale, open with this cat-cow. Exhale. Inhale. Chest to the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And come into center. Taking your arms outside side, we're going to just go from one side to the other, lengthening through the middle. If this position is uncomfortable, if you don't have a block, you could sit in a cross-legged position or legs out in front, or even on a chair. We haven't done chair for a long time. Maybe next week we'll do the chair, or maybe Thursday this week we'll do chair, or even Monday, any of these days. Coming up soon to a theater near you is going to be a chair class. Okay, we're going to take it over to one side. From here, you're going to hollow and curl, inhale, spiral, and open. Imagine that from your pelvis out through your fingertips is a line of energy. Exhale, inhale, open. Ribcage, lungs, and heart. Exhale, inhale. From your pelvis out through your fingertips, connected in your body. Your body is connected. It is one whole body, one whole system working together. Exhale and inhale. So we have a little bit of spiraling happening here, and we also have that big side stretch. Take it deeper down to that side. And then inhale, lengthen your spine, open your chest, lungs, and heart, and take it over to the other side. Exhale, rounding forward. Inhale, spiral and open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale toward the floor. Inhale. Arch and open. Exhale. Inhale. Imagining that your lungs are massaging your heart. which they are. Exhale, inhale, all those veins and arteries coming in and out of your heart have some elasticity and mobility. If there's any kind of plaque buildup in there, imagine it just reintegrating, composting in your body. Side, taking it a little deeper, and then inhale up. We're going to spiral and then spiral the other way. Just go back and forth a few times. Good. And then release that. Let's come off of your block. And we're going to go all the way down to the floor, onto our backs. I guess I'm going to go this way because those blocks are in the way. Not blocks, those weights. So here I'm going to start. Let's just start with a heel rock. Let that ripple through your body. So you're sending a wave of movement up and down. Really let the rib cage soften. Fake it till you make it. If you're kind of still and nothing's moving here, just give yourself more movement. And then imagine letting go of the control, freeing up your flow, and letting yourself keep that same amount of movement. And then you're going to bend your knees and just easy knee drop from side to side and massaging through your butt. So butt and hips. We can't really do shoulders without also thinking about hips, right? We need to, both of them, big ball and socket joints that need this sort of round movement. So just releasing through the lower back and hips, opening all the way and then closing. And then coming back in, stretching your legs out, circling your arms up over your head. As if you're pulling on a shirt, you're going to look down towards your heels, lengthening through your legs. Inhale, open. Exhale, feeling the back and the front of the legs reaching out and away. Inhale, open. Exhale. So I still actually have a lumbar curve here. I'm not doing this. Just look for 1 second. I'm not doing this, right? I'm not congesting it all. I'm leaving it long and reaching through so that I'm long through my whole waist. Upper and lower is reaching away. So I'm not contracting up and in. I'm lengthening down and out. Reaching through the bottoms of my feet. And then change direction, like you're pulling on a shirt. Wait, taking off a shirt. We already put it on, now we're taking it off. Exhale everything out. Inhale, open. Last one. Let's bend the knees, lift up your butt, and just take a rock forward and backward. Allow that to massage out your shoulders. So easy and loose. Think of the central channel of your body, your spine, your spinal cord, your psoas, all those deep muscles, even your quadratus lumborum may be in there, erectors of the spine, all that stuff that's in the center of your body and on the periphery, but in the midline, just getting longer and easier. And then you're just going to dip one hip down, inhale up, dip the other hip down, inhale up. You could do this with a block in between your knees. I don't feel like getting one. And I also want to just let my body do the work and not have the tool for right now. But if you find you have a hard time feeling what's going on, put the block in between your knees. So you're really engaging your hamstrings as you press up, and then you're kind of releasing one side. You're kind of releasing your glute and your hamstring, and then pressing up, releasing glute and hamstring, pressing up. And then you're going to take it a little bit deeper. Let it drop down a little bit more, push through. Let it drop down a little bit more so that maybe the other half dips a little bit. Push as high as you can on the top. And then come in and roll it down through your spine all the way down to the floor. Taking your hands on your knees, big circles with your knees. Here's that lubrication of the hip socket. Full range of motion. Head can come off the floor or not, really listening into your own body. And changing direction. And there are benefits to both versions. There is a benefit, like when I leave my head on the floor and I let myself have that lumbar curve here, so that I'm going into lumbar curve and then curling up my tail. But not by making that happen, just by relaxing my body, and my arms are doing the work. Now, if I bring my head up off the floor, then I don't tend to get as much of that lumbar curve, but I am getting this work or this movement up through my head and chest. All right, let's let that go. And let's just open up into a big stretch, legs out to the sides. And let's go with flexing your feet, pointing your toes, fold it in, open it out. Flex, point, fold, extend. Reaching through your legs, point and fold, and open, flex, point, fold. So I'm holding my hands on my legs and giving them a little bit extra push, but it doesn't make that much of a difference if I have my hands there or not. And again, I'm occasionally picking up my head, checking out the situation, and then sometimes just leaving my head on the floor. 3 more. 2. Last one. Waking up the tissue through the soles of your feet, toes, inner thighs, and fold it in. Open your feet wider than your sticky mat. Internally rotate one leg at a time. Spiraling in and massaging through your lower back, lengthening your quad. And then bring it together. Pick up your butt. Give your whole body a shake. Let it go. So free it up. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Trying not to contract and hold, but trying to shake it like the best belly dancer or samba carnival dancer in the world. Shake, 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 shake. Let it all go. Freedom in your tissue. And then coming down, and we're going to take your hands down by your sides, legs up to the ceiling, circles as big or small as you want to make these. I'm going to start in a medium and then move to big pretty quickly because we already pretty much opened that up, or I did. I'm going to go pointing up and then flexing down. The next thing I'm going to add, and this is just an option, is curling off the floor. If that doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. Really listen to your own body. Oh yeah, my floor is loving this. It's speaking to me as I move through it. Gotta love the old house wood floor creakiness. Couple more times. If you can manage it, taking your pelvis up into that sort of plow position is going to massage out the back of your neck and shoulder, not your neck, back of your shoulders a little bit, and relax, bring it in. Let it go. Turn your head gently from side to side. Releasing your neck and jaw. You can yawn if you want. And then we're going to go with hands palm down the floor, legs up, spiraling from side to side. And if you want to make this harder, you can go with straight legs. Turning your head away from your feet if your back feels good. So you're really spiraling the whole chain. Or if your back isn't feeling that good, turn your head in the same direction as your feet, so it's not quite such a spiral. or stare at the ceiling. All of these are good choices depending on what's going on. And of course, I usually like to do a little bit of each one. Really arms reaching out, back working with your legs. And bring it in whenever you're ready. And let's grab your weights, or let's grab our weights. So I'm going to go with one set. So I have 2 3-pound weights, knees together, feet pigeon-toed, circling my arms around my body. Inhaling as I open, exhaling as I close. Using my breath. Mobilizing my diaphragm, right? I'm really moving in this very 3-dimensional way. Change direction. Exhale up. Inhale down. Imagine that your whole body is a set of lungs. So imagine that your lungs are reaching all the way out to your fingertips. As you fill up with breath, really staying connected inside. Last one. And release. Get rid of your weights. Come down, open up. Let's just take a really small arching curl here. So you're not gonna actually push into your feet so that your pelvis lifts. We're just working with the back and maybe a little bit in the front, but not super contracted. Just a little bit more for freedom and mobility. Bringing up the head-tail connection, feeling into it, right? So this isn't exercise to feel a burn or work harder. This is exercise to build awareness, this moment right now of feeling the relationship between our pelvis, our ribs, and our cranium as we do this little arching curl. Maybe allowing, think of really exhaling actively, and then just let the breath come back in. So active exhale. It's not really passive, but you're not going trying hard. You're just letting the breath fill back up. So exhaling on the curl, inhaling on the arch. Letting it be gentle. It's interesting. Just sometimes people are holding on so tightly that nothing can really move through and with their body, right? So we want to find a sense of freedom where we're letting go of things, we're filling up without a huge effort. We're not like, I must work so hard to do everything, like the doctor's, what is it, Captain Kirk acting school, right? Where everything is such a huge effort. Let it be easy and fluid. All right, we're going to come up and do just, this is another rotator cuff thing that I had meant to do standing. So sitting in any kind of position, grab your block so it's nearby. Sitting in any kind of position, you're going to take your hands on your shoulders and you're going to try to touch your elbows together. Keep them touching for as long as they can. And then open as wide as you can, those little chicken wings. We were joking before I started the class about the chicken wings. So get those little chicken wings and mobilize them. Big circles. And you can curl and then arch if you want to. That really helps integrate the breath for me because I can just move here or I can make it a whole body experience and event. And then change direction up and over, closing the front of the body and then opening the front of the body. Closing, curling in, inhaling, opening up. Good, and then relax and shake that out, let it go. Easy, loose, Imagine that you're a Muppet. You know how the Muppets always shake their arms around? Have some Muppet arms. Ah! Right? They do that. I'm so excited. Muppet arm shake. Also, the baby's arms flapping wildly. Can you let go of the tension and really let it shake out? I love Muppet arms and baby arms flapping wildly. Babies, when they can't say anything, it's like their arms start to do all sorts of stuff. So look at that for a means of expression, right? What's happening in someone's hands? What's happening in their arms? Where's the tension going? When I was taking private ballet point classes with one of my teachers, I would notice how I would be doing an exercise and all the tension in my body would be going into my hands, into these little claws. So like when we're really focusing or when we're doing something or trying hard, where does the tension go? Start to pay attention to that. Grab your block, squish it, push it together. So I'm opening my collarbones wide, but I'm not squeezing my back in. I'm keeping wide in the back, pushing the block, pressing up and down. This is the kind of exercise, push your hands together, that appears to be very easy. And then after you've done it for a while, you're like, whoa. So we're requiring our tissue to do something that we don't normally do, which is put our hands over our head, but also pushing them together as we put them over our head. Unless you're spend a lot of time hanging or climbing trees, chances are your tissue isn't up in this position enough. Especially as we age, we want to have that health. Now we're going to go straight out in front. So I'm pushing it out, offering you my block, and then bringing it back. Can't have it. Here you go. No. Psych. Taking it forward, and elbows are lifting, collarbones wide. Push it out, bring it in. If you don't have a block, use a pillow, use anything, right? Actually, a water bottle would work too. Pushing together. Good. We're going to change it. You're going to go up, take it forward, and then bring it in. Up, forward, elbows wide. Up, forward, collarbones wide. Up, forward, but we don't want to be rigid in our bodies. So we're not being like so well organized that we have no vitality, right? We want to have a little bit of freedom in our movement. Feel what's going on with your ribs. So I'm not saying lock them in, right? That actually, shake it out for a second, let it go. Just the idea of locking down your ribs. Think about that. Our diaphragm is in there. We want as much capacity for movement in our rib cage, in our hearts, in our lungs, so that we can keep clearing the blood, the lymph, the energy. So we're not just, these stagnant pools. All right, taking it forward and up and down. I hope we went the other way first. I don't know. If I haven't changed direction, I think I did though. I think we went up forward. Maybe let's just start changing direction. Go one way and then go the other way, right? When in doubt, do everything or simplify. And when in doubt, make it super complex so nobody knows what's going on, or make it so simple. Pushing, the more you push your hands together, the more challenging this is going to be. And it's at a certain point, you're just like, oh my God, I'm just trying to move my arms. So whatever, let it go. Taking your hands, interlace behind your back. And then take your hands down, open chest and lungs. In this position, lift your hands away from your tail and just turn a little bit from side to side. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. And my head is not totally dropped back. It's just looking up. See one diagonal of the room and then see another one. And then let that go and release. And let's come onto hands and knees. And let's work right away. We've done a lot of cat-cow already. So let's work for a rippling wave from your tail through your head. So it's like you tuck your tail, you roll the wave up to your head. The slower I say it, the less I can do it. That's the thing about movement. Sometimes when you break it down, it becomes so different than what you're actually doing when you're doing it. So tail to head, rippling a wave through your spine. And then try it head to tail. So head initiates, it ripples through down to your tail. Feeling like your spine is almost like a spring, right? Lots of capacity for movement. So the cats have a much more springy spine than people. That's why they can really launch off and jump high and pounce quickly. So just imagine that you have that cat energy in your spine. Use the cat archetype to free up your own spine. As I do this, like if I'm moving from my head to my tail, it feels like, oh, I'm really lengthening out my spine in the second half of that. As I go from my tail to my head, I can feel the lengthening happening more through the upper half of my body. So just listen into your own body. It might be different for you. Let's go up onto fingertips. I'm going to face you. So we're on fingertips, and I'm going to just circle around over my fingertips. Bear as much weight as you can bear. So I'm circling forward, side, back, side. This isn't an up and down towards the floor one. Change direction, go the other way. Good, and then release that. Let's go onto your hands and the same thing. Make it a little bit bigger, smaller, whatever feels right in your body. Changing direction. So one of my wrists does this very easily. My left wrist actually really likes it. My right wrist feels a little more congested. We're going to go over the back of the hands with our hands forward and just make little fists coming up, fingers up, and then hands facing each other. And then hands facing our body. Let's go as far out as we can with that. And then turn it around and come out this way. So now you've spiraled all of that tissue in your forearm a fair amount. Relax it, shake it out, let it go. Release, soften, and melt. And let's take it into, we're going to do forearm plank to regular plank. Or if that's not working for you, just do forearm plank. So I'm going to be going, switching, up, up, down, down. I'm going to stay with the same pattern in my hands and wrists for 4 or 5, and then I'm going to change it to the other side. Now changing to the other one, initiating the movement. And relax. Let it go. Turn your head from side to side. Inner spiral, central channel, easy and loose. Shake it out. Then we're going to come back to a forearm plank. You never know what you're going to do in this class. I never know what you're going to do in this class. Coming onto a plank, forward and backward. Head reaches forward, heels reach back. Finding that central channel and traveling along it. And then pelvis down towards the floor. Stay in this forearm position, Sphinx position, and just push and pull with your arms. Think of your collarbones very wide and your sternum moving forward and backward in space. So you're firing up your pecs and your lats a little bit as you push pull. Then we are going to look over one shoulder, come back to center, look over the other shoulder, come back to center. Look over one shoulder and straighten that same arm. The other one, straighten that arm. Just a couple more times like that, looking one way, looking the other. So my elbow, hopefully, is pretty much directly below my shoulder. Next version, the opposite leg is going to come in, double pulse, pulse, pulse. Change it to the other side, pulse, pulse. Try to see your foot over your shoulder. Maybe it's in your peripheral vision. Maybe you can really get there. Then that's all working. You're going to do a flex point with your foot. Flex point. If that's too much to think about, don't do it. If you go rogue, that's fine. This is really just for you. So sometimes when I say that, then I start to do point flex. So really feel free to play around with it. Couple more times. And then sometimes my feet are just doing whatever they want and it makes no sense. And relax all the way down. First, just wag your tail, shift it from side to side. Big, happy dog with a wallopy, bushy tail. And then bend your knees and let your legs fall from side to side, massaging to the front of your quads. Let the water in your body, well, you don't even need to let it, it's going to do that anyway, but connect to the earth through the gravitational pull. And then think of softening your tissue to make that easier. So you're not holding, bracing against the floor, you're just pulling down into the floor, letting go. And then tops of your, curl your toes under, head on your hands and push up and down. Breathe and relax, soften and melt, let go. Easy and loose, shake it all out, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And then let's take the arms out in front, legs behind. We're gonna lift the arms up. You're going to spiral, wait, how does this go? Palms up in the front and then palms up in the back. Palms up in the front, palms up in the back. You can lift up the legs and work your back more, or I'm cramping. You can not lift up the legs and really work through the spiral. So go with what feels good to you. What am I even doing? There we go. Oh, crampy. I don't know why. Shift from side to side. I had water. I had lemon water before my coffee, but something's going on in the body. Let's take it to a downward dog from there. Reach your butt up to the ceiling and walk your little downward dog a little bit forward and backward. Walk up your mat, walk down your mat. Bend your knees if you need to, don't bend. So we're getting this weight shift in this weird walkie quadruped. If we spent more time walking around like this, the world would be a different place. It would certainly look different. Just notice your surroundings as you're upside down in that position. Letting the brain get a little bit more of that fluid. And then you can just shift, bending one knee and then the other. A little bit playful in your body. That's the other thing. Come down, relax. When things get sticky, yucky, dull, we can shake out, or we can tune into humor and play. That is another great way of like just lightening and brightening and releasing whatever is going on. All right, let me look at the time. I think we're gonna do one more thing and then we'll stretch out our hips. Maybe two more things. So we're going to, I think I wanna do this from forearms. So you're gonna take one leg out, lift it as high as you can, take it over to the side. At that point, I am straightening this leg and lower down. That leg goes out to the side, up, behind you, the elbow goes to the floor and down. Leg up, shift it to the side, take it down, leg as high as it can go. Take it to the back and lower. Reach for the heights with your toes. Down, up, back, lower, up, to the side, down, up. Come back into alignment and lower, up, carry it to the side, down, up, to the back, lower, 2 more, up, to the side, down, last one, up, to the back, lower. This is the real last one. And just relax for a second. So as I keep moving around, I was telling you about the congestion in my lungs, and I can feel it in my throat, in my lungs, as I'm shifting in these different relationships to gravity. So I'm getting that goop moving, gunk, goopy stuff. Shift from side to side, let your hips release, relax your head and neck, and then come up for the other side. Leg goes as high as it can, carry it to the side, lower down, up, to the back, down, up, side, down, up, as high as it can, reaching for the ceiling, up, to the side, down, up, to the back, down, up, carry it, lower, up. And this side might feel harder because you've already worked both sides, right? So when we're doing this, it's not just the leg up in the air that's doing the work. The one on the floor is doing the work as well. 3 more, totally not counting, but I'm aiming to go between 10 and 12 on each side. Oh my goodness, hello butt. Last one. And relax. Take it back, shift your butt to one side, your head to the other. You can walk your arms over if that feels good. Going back and forth in your own time. Really full breathing. Get as much oxygen into your body as you need. And then even yourself out, come up. I'm not doing another exercise. We're just going to go for a hip stretch and come in. So I'm going to do knee over knee. So I'm putting one knee over the other knee. If you need to put the bottom leg straight, if that works better for you, go for it. If you need to do your own hip stretch here, go for it. Each body is individual and different, and it's different every day. So like what feels good to me one day versus another day can be very different. So really allow yourself to be present with what you're doing and see how each thing is landing on any given day. I'm going to circle around. Big breathing. Let yourself take in the oxygen that you need. What if we were all breathing as deeply as we needed to breathe, right? What if we all said the things we needed to say? Especially the female people on the planet, or even the female identifying people on the planet. Change direction. Let's just say, I don't know, it's hard to say anything like that without kind of pushing someone's buttons. Circle the other way if you haven't changed direction. And then just take it forward and soften. Again, letting yourself breathe as deeply, as loudly, as much as you need to. And then come up, spiral towards your top knee. Spiral towards your bottom knee. Coming back into center, stretch towards your top knee. And then towards your bottom knee. Let's just do that one more time. And I'm going to talk about this relationship. So pinky through your radius and ulna, through your humerus, into your collarbone, into your rotator cuff, into your scapula. Find that relationship and let it have some life and some movement. So, right, we don't just have to be here. We can also mobilize that tissue, right? Hello, rotator cuff. Hello, health of the fascia. By letting this have some more life energy. feeling into it. You can see how much different movement happens as I just move my hand around. Try the same thing on the other side. So it's sometimes just coming into more of an inquiry practice of like, what feels good? What can I do here? As opposed to, this is the exercise, I must do it like this. But where we start to create more space within the exercise, more space within our perception, more room for reality or for versions of reality that feel good and interesting to us. Good. Come up, unscramble, and just give it a bang and release it out. Rotate in and out. Shake out your legs. Shake out your body. Let it go. Yeah. And then switch it to the other side. Either leave the bottom leg straight, fold it in. Notice your state right now. So when I do this cross-legged version in classes, what I notice is that people really come in to their own space. So go in there if you can find that. Bring yourself back, like we did with that energy of the turning your head from side to side. But with this one, don't think I have to work on my focus. Just allow the focus to come in. Not that you have to do any massive effort. You're just simply allowing your energy to return to yourself. Anytime we work in these crossed positions, we're inviting our energy back into ourselves. Change direction. Right, we're crossing the midline, we're protecting the organs, we're coming into ourselves. And when you're ready, take it down. You can free up your spine or just hang out. Breathe into it. Allowing the full inhalations to create space in your body, and then letting yourself release into that space on the exhale. And then coming up, spiraling towards the top leg. And then the bottom leg. Oh, I got a nice little crack in there. And then coming to the more sort of static version of this stretch, just hanging out in that, we'll get moving on the next round. So even like static stretching, it implies that we're being still, but in reality, there's no stillness inside our body. The blood is flowing, the heart is beating, we're breathing. Even if we try to be still, there's no such thing. Take it back to the first side and let yourself play like a flamenco dancer, like a palm frond, like a weeping willow, whatever image works for you. Seagrasses. Give yourself that freedom of this relationship from your fingertips through all those bones, muscles, joints of the hand into the wrist and forearm, into the upper arm, into the shoulder girdle, rotator cuff, giving yourself some mobility in there. Same thing on the other side. Breathing. Become curious about sensation. Like, what does it feel like if I do it like this? How does it feel like that? What's moving here? And then come up, unscramble, give it a bang, rotate it in and out. So this is one thing, like when I was studying movement analysis, it sounds really like dry, but really we're like working with these relationships. Like, how is this connecting in? If I move something differently, how does it feel? And like this hand, pinky, scapula, collarbone relationship is really important, right? This is all supporting this. And we could also say this is supporting this, right? The outer edges are supporting the interior is supporting the periphery. Let's come in, stand on our feet, take your butt up to the ceiling, shift from side to side, let it go. Relax your head and neck, relax your face, soften and melt. And then come into center. Give it a little shake. Ooh, you can shake no, nod, yes. Free up the relationship between your head and your tail. And then roll it up, coming all the way up to the top. So if we're really striving for perfection a lot, that's going to affect our tissue, right? Oh, I got to do it right. I got to be perfect. I mean, I don't think perfection comes that naturally for most people. See if you can soften that, let go of that idea. Just be like, you know what? All I need to do is just move a little bit, find my breath, find some mobility. Inhale, open, and exhale, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Inhale, open, and exhale. It's not to say don't strive for perfection sometimes. Just notice when you're in that striving place and see if you can soften it a little, or strive hard and then get soft, whatever it needs to be. All right, TV land people, if you're out there, thanks for showing up, and feel free to like and subscribe and do all the things that you know benefit me. And hopefully you, right? If you're supporting what supports you, the whole system gets better.